What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I just went back through and checked an older video. In fact, it was the video I put out the day before SPS staking went live, so July 5th, if I remember correctly. We had already had the announcement, so we might have seen a little bit of an uptick then, but we were at roughly 601 million SPS staked. And over the past 16 days, right, I'm recording this on July 21st, over the past 16 days, we've seen 32 million SPS staked in addition, right? We're at 633. So on average, we are increasing the amount, or basically on average, we're doing about 2 million SPS per day. Obviously, that's not, this isn't averaged out over time. I'm sure a lot of that came at the beginning as like a bulk sum, but we have seen it continue to, be impressive in terms of obviously the SPS price holding well or still holding steady at around like the 2.4 cent range, as well as just the overall amount of SPS being staked. I mean, this has become significant now. If you remember about a year ago, and actually from the inception of SPS, when it was launched, we were always at a position where we were staking roughly half, and there was the other half was just liquid. Whereas now you can see here, I mean, it's more of like a 60-40 ratio. Again, it's not perfect math, but it's much better than where we were at before. And I do expect it to actually increase over time as more and more players potentially find the game, or the players within the game continue to increase their stake to increase their overall rewards and earnings. Now, here's the interesting thing about, let me put it this way. Here's the interesting thing about the dilution rate of SPS. Now, I remember hearing a while back, and I took this as just, I took it at its word, and I've been parroting it here, so I apologize for giving wrong information. But I remember seeing in math chat, a lot of people were doing the math and saying that we print roughly 1 million SPS per day. And again, like I said, on this channel, I've talked about that. But when I went back to the video 16 days ago, there was only 1.076 billion versus the 1.082 billion, which means in that time, we've only seen SPS increase by about 6 million. So I did check the amount burned, and it was only about 50,000 SPS that was burned or converted to DEC, which I don't know why people are still doing now, but we thank you for your sacrifice. You've burned 50,000 SPS for DEC, even though DEC is still well below its peg. So where does that actually bring us? Well, I'm actually wondering now if the amount of SPS that's being diluted every day, if you take that roughly 6 million divided by the 16 days, it's a little bit under 400,000 SPS. So I'm looking through this now, and again, I'm not even saying that that's the right number. I'm actually trying to figure out where the right number would be. And this is not the point of the video. The point of the video was talking about SPS earlier, but I'm diverging a little bit here, just because I'm curious to know if the amount of SPS that we're expecting to be printed is actually lower than the amount that everybody has been assuming. That's actually really helpful, considering the fact that we are continuing to stake a lot more, right? On average, 2 million per day, and before we thought it was like a 1 million that we had to overcome. But if it's closer to 400,000, which from my initial estimates doesn't seem right, like it seems too low. Like if we're only minting 400,000 SPS per day, that's not really in line with where all of the reward pools should be, right? And granted, I know that there's a couple of reward pools that aren't printing at full max. For example, the LP rewards, I know that we are setting some aside for potential future LPs, but I don't even have that math steady, right? Obviously, a lot of these reward pools that were started a year ago, right? LPs, the Brawl rewards, the Ranked Battle rewards, the Validator Node rewards, those all went live in Q3 of last year. And so they've all been being reduced, or all have been reduced by 1% per month for almost a year at this point. But still, 400,000 just seems a little bit lower. So I'm going to try and dig in a little bit further. So again, I diverged a little bit too much. Going back to the fact that we've staked over the past 16 days, 32 million, I think is fantastic. Obviously, I'm expecting a little sell pressure. I'm expecting a little bit of profit taking. And I know we're only at 2.4 cents, but keep in mind, guys, for anybody that bought in at the lows of 1.5 cents, this is almost like a 60% or a 40% gain, right? Or 50% gain, right? What's my math here? Yeah, like a 40% gain, which is not insignificant when you think about, just gains in a short period of time. So anybody that bought in that wants to take some profit now, they would have begun the unstaking process potentially after or when the announcement was made. And so therefore we're only like 2.5 weeks into the unstaking process. So there may be some folks who are still waiting on some that end up selling out. So that might be why we're seeing this stall. Some people taking profits, some people maybe not as bullish as the rest of us, but ultimately that's where the state of SPS is right now. I wanted to give a little bit of an update simply because the numbers have been phenomenal. Now, how much more can we push this? I don't know, but from all the conversations that I'm having, everybody wants as much SPS as they can get, which means that whether we're printing 400,000 a day or whether we're printing 1 million a day, I do anticipate many folks starting to stack more and more of that or sell less and less of it over time as the rewards start to increase. And keep in mind, we got tower defense down the corner, or around the corner, I should say, down the line, around the corner, however you want to do it. And of course, land 1.5, which could make for a very interesting, demand event when it comes to both DEC and then SPS by extension. But that is all I really have for you guys in this video. If anybody else is kind of tracking this and looking at the math or looking, at where the SPS is or is going, I would love to know. But right now, like I said, just looking at the video from 16 days ago, we've only diluted by 6 million. We've only increased by 6 million SPS, which again is actually not a terrible thing. If you think about it, that means that, the SPS inflation rate, we'll call it, is not as high as it used to be. And more importantly, more people are holding on to their SPS now than ever before. So maybe we continue to see this number increase, right? The amount of total SPS stake continues to increase while the amount of total SPS, while the amount of SPS also obviously is increasing, the total amount. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.